Hello, and welcome to another edition of Ask the Professor, where we respond to your questions on past events, on current events, on future events, on culture, on economics, on all those things that are connected with our attempt to have a decent community.
Right. Here's one you love. The Magna Carta. You said in the documentary, and that's true, that back in the day, there was a requirement to read Magna Carta in English, because it's written in Latin, in churches twice a year, so that the English-speaking population would know what it said. Wouldn't that be a good idea to start something like that again?
I'd love to do it. We really need to recapture our understanding of the past and of where this society that we live in came from. All the things we take for granted, that somehow we'll always be prosperous no matter what anybody does, that we will always be open even if we bring in hate speech tribunals, that we will always be defended against our enemies even if we disarm. It all comes from the astonishing vitality and the capacity for correcting mistakes of a truly free society, and which we are all outraged if someone's liberty is taken away. And if we let that get away from us, if we gradually become accustomed to the notion that liberty is unimportant and often disagreeable, and it should be nibbled at until finally it's gone, then we will find that all those other things vanish as well. They are all tied together. Now, the problem is reading it aloud in churches these days wouldn't do any good because so few people go to church. And again, it's hard to recapture the sense. And Magna Carta was in England, right? England was Catholic at the time. It was a society that really did take religion seriously. Not that everybody took religion seriously. The first guarantee in Magna Carta is the independence of the church. That's the origin of freedom of thought. Well, I could tell you all to go to church, but you probably won't. Mm-hmm. So where do we read it aloud?
How about a hipster cafe? Let's go to a hipster cafe.
Yeah, they should be read in hipster cafes. That might work. You could put it in the newspapers twice a year. The problem is that newspapers are in bad shape. You could put it on the internet.
We've done that.
It is on the internet. Yeah. And so in a sense, we are used to a society in which there are certain communal gathering places where important events happened. And the media has been surprisingly filling that role over the last century or more. This mass media where mass advertising sustained below-cost production of radio programs, TV, newspapers. It was a business model made in heaven. There was nothing wrong with it until some fool invented the internet and it all went whoosh. But what do we do in a society where there really aren't these centralized nodes? Well, I'll tell you what, we do it ourselves. We build these horizontal, decentralized networks, civil society. The Magna Carta documentary, it is very thoroughly researched. It does cover the subject in great depth, but it is accessible. It is watchable. Maybe you have to watch it in 2 or 3 installments.
Or in slow speed because you speak so fast.
Well, watch it twice. Buy the book. But I truly believe that this is a way of making Magna Carta accessible to people again. And if you think Magna Carta ought to be better known than it is, get people to watch the documentary, to understand that they are part of a great adventure, that liberty is an exciting, tumultuous story of improbable victories against the odds, time and again snatched from the jaws of looming defeat, that there's something really exciting going on here. And once you've got them to watch it and to be inspired by it, they can show it to somebody else.
And it's not
That's
that
how
boring.
we do it these days.
Right? I mean, there's blood, there's people being cut up, there's fights and battles and evil people and good people and stuff. I mean, it's just a great story.
Yeah, Simone de Montfort, when he's killed, his body's cut into pieces, some of which I'm not going to mention on camera. And then the guy who did it apparently sent some of them to his wife as a gift.
Yeah,
you
don't
know,
do that.
If she wanted that, she was one
Ew.
scary woman.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the odds for which people were playing. Terrible. King John, he liked to starve people to death because it was horrible and slow. Anybody who defied King John knew they were facing the possibility of their entire family being gruesomely exterminated, and they did it anyway. So there is a really gripping tale here, an epic stretching over centuries with lost treasures that must be recovered, and we can recover them.
Mm-hmm. Plus,
it's
there's beer.
Great.
There's beer.
There's beer.
There's
yes,
absolutely beer. Magna Carta beer.
The Magna Carta beer. I'm looking forward to getting back to England. I'm going to try and get some more of that beer. It was really good. Mm-hmm. Pity it's not for sale here, but we'll hoist one on your behalf while we're there.
We'll tell you all about it and describe it in loving detail exactly how delicious it is.
Ooh, it was so dark and flavored with medieval herbs.
People.
Yeah, but I mean, what a classic, right? You talk about reading Magna Carta aloud. Someone brewing beer in honor of Magna Carta. That is a truly devoted act of commemoration.
And we love it. All right, thanks for that. Folks, if you want to play along and ask your question of the professor, go to the URL on your screen and you'll have all the explanations there. Thanks, and see you next time.